After 18 months of waiting while everyone else could get the coronavirus vaccine, today our youngest Americans can also get protected from COVID. The first shots were given out for children 6 months to 5 years old. These kids got theirs at Brenner Hospital right here in the Triad. To mark the progress, President Joe Biden visited a vaccine clinic in D.C. He called it a major step towards putting the COVID pandemic behind us.
It's a very historic milestone, a monumental step forward. The United States is now the first country in the world to offer safe and effective COVID-19 vaccines for children as young as 6 months old. And the first time in our fight against this pandemic, nearly every American can now have access to life-saving vaccines.
But parents are having mixed reaction to the vaccine. A Kaiser Family Foundation survey found only about 18% of parents will definitely get their kid vaccinated. 38% plan to wait and see how it's working, while 27% say, hey, they're not going to get their kid vaccinated at all.
We're super excited, super thrilled that she can finally get vaccinated.
Especially right now, people don't understand what the vaccine is really about. And to give it to children under 5, I don't think it's a right move.
Well, where's the shot?
I'm Ben Briscoe. From now until 6, we're going to dig into the top concerns of parents, including looking at possible side effects, if a shot is needed if your child has already had COVID, and which brand of the shot is better. Just like adults, there are different brands of the vaccines kids can choose from. But unlike adults, there are some major differences between the brands for kids. Pfizer and Moderna both have shots approved by the federal government. The big difference between the two is how many shots. Moderna's is 2 doses. Pfizer is a 3-shot series. It's more shots because it's a smaller dose. Pfizer's about 1/10 the size of an adult vaccine. Moderna is a quarter of the adult size. A StarMed doctor from the Triad says that makes a big difference.
So for the Pfizer, it's actually a 3-dose series. And because of that 3rd dose, it showed a higher efficacy, which meant it was more effective, which is exactly what we see with adults. Getting that extra booster dose gave us more protection. The Moderna is 2 doses. So that is still off the original series. And eventually we'll need a booster for the Moderna as well. So we expect the numbers to be very similar when you talk about 3 doses and 3 doses. But as of right now, the Pfizer's 3 doses compared to the Moderna's 2 dose is better.
But if you want your child fully vaccinated by the start of the school year, Moderna is the way to go. With Pfizer, even if your kid got their first shot tomorrow, they would not have full protection until September. So if you're one of the parents looking to get your children vaccinated, the state just launched a portal where you can find vaccine locations. It goes a step further too. It lets you find places with the vaccine you want. You just put in your location and pick which brand you'd rather your child get. Then a whole bunch of places to get your kid vaccinated pop up. You can find this through the North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services website. A lot of parents say they don't want to vaccinate their kid because they already had COVID or they think the risk is pretty low. Doctors don't agree with that line of thinking. Let's break down their thoughts by the numbers. About 70% of kids in the U.S. have already had COVID. Doctors say that should not stop you from getting your child vaccinated.
Still worth getting the vaccine. It really offers an extra level of protection, an extra layer of protection. What vaccines do is they keep kids out of the hospital. And that's why they are so effective, and everybody deserves that protection.
The vaccine-induced immunity probably lasts a little bit longer, and so that's one reason to do it. Another reason to do that is that it's still possible to get infected a second time and have a more severe course of illness than you did the first time.
50,000 kids have even had to go to the hospital with the virus. That's why doctors recommend the shot.
But this is a serious disease in children. More than 1,000 kids have died, about 440 under the age of 4. We've seen, as you said, tens of thousands of hospitalizations in this age segment. And this isn't a benign illness in a lot of kids, healthy kids as well as kids with a lot of comorbid illness.
And finally, 0 safety concerns were found in the clinical trials reviewed by the FDA and CDC.
These vaccines have been thoroughly tested. Millions of children above the age of 5 have gotten these vaccines. They're exceedingly safe. And we expect confidence in these vaccines to build over time in this population.
But just like the initial rollout of vaccines for adults, a lot of parents have concerns now. Some of the concerns have gained traction online because they're coming from verified accounts and people in power. A few days ago, Senator Ron Johnson from Wisconsin tweeted this video. It's of an FDA official saying kids have a greater risk for myocarditis from the vaccine. More than 450,000 people have seen the video so far. We tracked down the video on the FDA's YouTube page. It's actually from a year ago. And the data he was referring to was about the vaccine for kids 12 to 17. The CDC says only about 5 out of every 1 million kids get myocarditis from the vaccine. You still don't want your kid to be one of them, but the risk is very, very low. And symptoms are usually mild and even go away without treatment. Doctors continue to say the vaccines are both safe and effective for kids, including the same guy from the video that Senator Johnson shared.
We did not observe a statistically significantly higher myocarditis risk in the Moderna COVID-19 vaccine recipient.
Obviously, the safety in this population is of paramount importance.
Now into another elected official raising concerns about the vaccine for young children. Florida's governor says the state won't even fund any program that distributes the vaccine. In fact, the state, they didn't even order a single dose. He says he doesn't think vaccinating young children is appropriate, so the state's not going to spend any money on it.
Now from the 6 month to 5, the state's recommendation holds. It's a recommendation against doing it. That's different than saying you can't. You are free to choose. That's not an issue.
He says it's up to doctors' offices and hospitals to order vaccines for young children. The former FDA commissioner joined Face the Nation to address what's happening in Florida and why he thinks parents should feel totally safe vaccinating their kids.
This got a unanimous vote from a pretty diverse set of advisors at the FDA, 21-0, and a unanimous vote from CDC. So I think people should feel confident in the safety and effectiveness of both of these vaccines.
He says Florida's governor is wrong to actively oppose vaccinating children. We know a lot of parents feel uneasy about vaccinating young children. It doesn't help when doctors and public figures seem to disagree. The best thing that you can do is talk with your child's doctor. They know you. They know your kid. They'll help you make the best decision for you and your family.